Also, they want to keep the pace up. They think that's what's causing him to make all those fouls. He's in foul trouble right now with 4.
Our NBA and Bradley Beal to shoot, can attack the rim, score.
A long two for Paul George. He timed him after the game. He was just so shocked he couldn't even say the words 100. He was just smiling. No words were coming out.
El equipo de los Clippers suelta.
George gets his defender in his back pocket, hiccups into the paint, fades and fires and fills it up.
Porzingis had a game against Cleveland where he was in a tough spot after the first half. 6 for 6 in the third quarter.
Traded for him once?
No, don't do that.
You were?
No, don't do that.
What do you mean don't? There were others in.
Yeah, okay.
Here's George.
Really good first half, first quarter player, so you got to do a good job on him early on.
George.
Another bucket for Paul George. But I'm a believer in what Monty Williams is doing.
I love Monty, but
Paul George knocks in the.
which made it look, really obvious, but he's picked it up to his credit.
George. That's Paul George. Screen from Zubac. George fires, fills it up.
Only 9 wins for Chicago, but they are a top 10 defensive team. George tests that out right there and knocks down.
Kind of the stiff arm of the separation. Paul George will have something to do with that.
Other half.
To make plays for his teammates, finding them in basket cut situations.
Uh-oh, Paul George, or just get a driver.
There you go.
Paul George.
Some of that aggressiveness.
LeBron and Kawhi start off defending each other. What a welcome sight for fans.
Rebound to Beverly. Foul line jumper for Paul George.
Another great rebound.
Paul George got it.
George on Ferguson. It's a tough matchup for Martin.
Now that's a couple of pit bulls going at it.
Paul George.
That's why.
Paul George, pull-up jumper.
Ha elevado justamente ese talento después de que pues lo lograran
Get the potential three-point play.
George, step back jumper is good. The duo of Leonard.
Like, tough-minded defensive program, but I never saw him as an NBA player.
Paul George knocks it down.
And knocks a shot down.
George, late in the clock, going to have to call his own number. Stops at the foul line.
This time shoots over him. This time knocks it down. 15 points here in the first. George back in. George right to his spot. Boom. There it is. George pulls up at the foul line. Got it. And the Clippers are tied once.
3 guys that are motivated to really come out here and play well today.
The step away from Paul George.
No me está diciendo. Bueno, anyway, ahí está el disparo al canasto y.
In February. This is the last game in February. Is George against game losing streak. Only New Orleans with a longer active losing streak. They've lost 11 as George again. He moves to his left.
You like this matchup if you Paul George.
Does he like it? 6 points, couple of assists, couple of rebounds. George, long two, dials it in. Now the 150 scored. George, foul line jumper good. And a timeout to extend the possession. George, contested foul line jumper. And he knocks it in. And allowing 128 points a game during that stretch. As Paul George has
management controversies we've been seeing. Kawhi Leonard.
Paul George joining.
Kawhi Leonard leading with action. Attacking the rim, JJ Redick doing what he does best, Drew Holiday doing what he does best.
George from 15 cans the jumper. Paul George now. Paul George, pull-up jumper is good.
And I like that. Just using those young legs to get out in transition. As George hits a mid-range.
Points on the road, although they did hold a very dynamic. Here's Paul George with a banker. They did hold.